niggas cause they poison, but I love my section. You grew some dreads to please a bitch, but you won't keep a weapon. I lost my 3, was hard to think, but I'ma keep on stepping. I bumped my head and took some losses, hope it teach a lesson. I hate these niggas cause they poison, but I love my section. You grew some dreads to please a bitch, but you won't keep a weapon. I lost my 3, was hard to think, but I'ma keep on stepping. I bumped my head and took some losses, hope it teach a lesson. Look, I'm ready for the drama. Presidential, no Obama. Black on black to the rims, like my car come from Wakanda. I went anemic on these niggas. That's my club when I'm in Marcus. Blue 30 like a nigga. I just hear these niggas talking. Booked 2 different flights. I got visions of me golfing. Build a house for the kids. Niggas trying to see a coffin. I just left LAX. I got fans up in Austin. Gotta travel around the world. Staying busy, get exhausted. Million hours on the block. Still ain't see nobody walk it. Make my soul Kyle River, cause my heart can never talk it. I lost sleep pulling triggers. Couple nights I was tossing. It ain't fun being a killer. I protect myself with caution. It's just niggas killing niggas. Then they load it up like content. I just rather get some money. Dark green like Boston. Robbing niggas for they jury. Used to sell it at the Slauson. 4,000 Rick Owens. Lil nigga, I be bossing. I hate these niggas cause they poison, but I love my section.
What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the checks say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe. And I'm here to deliver you another one like that other one. What's the good old deal with the good old people, man? The recipient of Hot Topics is Tory Lanez for the 3rd time. Say the 3rd time's a charm, and he's back up here again. So, however, the reason why we back on Tory Lanez because it seems like new information keep on spilling out. And we got to get to it, you know what I'm saying? We got to get this narrative straight, and we got to make sure that we got the facts straight. So, it ain't that the facts been wrong. It's just more facts on top of the facts. And what happened to this situation and happened in this situation. So, however, in fact, if y'all don't know, which a lot of people really ain't pointed out and or skipped over, Tehachapi is in fact the EOP yard / PC yard. That's why a lot of narratives have been spent off. It was the Deuce 5 prison gang that did it. It was the PC inmates that did it. You know, stuff like that. All people was hating on them. I really never heard nothing about no taxing going on or nothing. From when I first heard it, even the narrative from Flacco, the narrative was spun as if it was hate going on, as if Tory Lanez was the bag for the blacks. And being that he had a bag and was doing what he was doing for the blacks, people was hating, and it was a war move and or a strategy to get him out the way. You know what I'm saying? These things have happened before, you know what I'm saying? They're not right. Explain like Tory Lanez situation, whether have anything to do with drugs on the yard, you know what I'm saying, the political aspect of a yard just being opening up, y'all trying to go to war, you know what I'm saying, for benches, handball courts, or whatever the case may be, you feel me? If you've been there, if you've been on them yards, you know how I go. It can be 1,000 narratives spent, you know what I'm saying, prison stories, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to real events that have happened in life. So, however, we got some news. So people got loved ones on that Tehachapi yard. So I guess they tapping in with their loved ones, and we getting the backstory to what happened. In fact, he was staffed by a Mexican inmate, but this Mexican inmate did not have no gang affiliation from what I'm being told. But when you see the tattoos of this dude and how this dude tatted up, he'll definitely put you in the mind of a gangbanger, a southerner, northerner, you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just, you know, a Chicano gang member. So, however, he has no gang affiliation. He's a lifer. He has other stabbings under his belt. But he got some stuff on his jacket that we just can't get down with. So we here to talk about that. We here to get into the stabbing. So obviously they saying that Tory Lanez was stabbed because he was flirting with this man's wife. I know how I go in the visiting room, you know what I'm saying? Some dudes, you know what I'm saying, be thinking they Rico Suave, you know what I'm saying? They might be in there visiting a family member or, you know, whoever. It could be their girlfriend, baby mama, you know what I'm saying, brother, whoever coming up there to visit them. they see somebody in that visiting room, dudes, you know what I'm saying, get out of pocket. And, you know, everybody, woman ain't sneaky. And every person ain't sneaky. So, you know, Tory Lanez, I don't know if this is one of them situations where he was feeling the celebrity status. You know, somebody seeing him, she might have smiled. Him seeing that smile might have opened up and he thought it was cool to be flirtatious. Oh, yeah, she know I'm Tory Lanez. She feeling me, you feel me? I can crack her. However, on top of this, this was his neighbor, allegedly. The dude who stabbed him lived right next door to him, you know what I'm saying? And it happened over his wife. So it seems like his wife told him that Tory Lanez was getting a little too flirtatious, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, getting a little too comfortable, you know what I'm saying? For her liking. She told her husband, and I guess it went from there. So we're going to definitely get into this content. And y'all know it's the halfway, the half effect. We are going to commentate.
Some crazy information. So I did a little digging, and this is about Tory Lanez. This is the person that stabbed him in Tehachapi State Prison, and I'll tell you guys why. Now, the video I did before was just saying that there was a false narrative going on about a Mexican trying to extort him or make him pay taxes, and everybody ran with that theory. I said, no, it was personal. Now, if a Mexican was to do it, it was, you know, yada, yada, yada. But the reason this took place is this dude was a nice guy, respectful inmate, got into a lot of trouble, though. He stabbed a couple inmates in prison. He's doing life without the possibility of parole for 2 murders. And he was in education. He was working in the educational department, respectful, but he happened to be Tory Lanez's neighbor. And at visit, he was flirtatious with his wife. And his wife immediately told her husband. They went back, got confrontational, and Tory Lanez was on the tier saying that he was going to F his wife because she likes black dudes. That's what really happened. And I had to go do some digging. I had to go, people kept asking me to go look it up, and I made contact with Tehachapi State Prison to finally get the story down, because a lot of people kept saying it was black on black, that he tried to get a black DP'd and all that, and he was paying other people for protection to have other people hid and trying to be the shot caller on the yard. Then I heard Mexicans did it, and I was like, all right, now let me just get to the bottom of it, since everybody's throwing like 202 stories about it. But that is the information. That is what happened. He was being disrespectful towards his neighbors.
Okay, so you know, I don't know if y'all know this channel, but you know, I got this content, you know what I'm saying, by way of a YouTube blogger named Renegade Media. So, you know, he spends a lot of prison content as well. I guess he's somebody who's been incarcerated as well, you know what I'm saying? I guess ex-gang member, you know, he going through his transition and whatnot, things like that. So, however, I don't know if he got somebody that's on the Tehachapi yard, but he got the information. He's showing y'all the face of the guy who, in fact, blasted Tory Lanez. Now, to me, I don't see how this guy got by, but now I know how this guy got by without being screened by the Southerners. So, as we're going to later on go down the line and find out, it looked like this dude is out of Southern California by way of Lancaster. He's been in prison before he caught this life term he got. He's been in prison before. So, it's rarely that you see somebody, really of any descent that's not an affiliate, just slinging that knife like that and being in the trouble, how this guy in the trouble. And like I said, the Southsiders stay trying to recruit, you know what I'm saying? And this would have been a righteous soldier for these guys. But you gotta wonder why this guy how is this guy not on gang time, how he's not a resident, how he's not under the Southsider wings, none of that. You know, Norte, but it ain't even Norte because he's from Southern California. So you gotta wonder with all that, you know what I'm saying? You hear Renegade Media, description he gives of him, you know, nice guy, real respectful, quiet, out the way, working the law like Barry, don't bother nobody, but has a violent streak, got some stabbings on his belt, and things like that. So, dudes do be getting comfortable, and a dude like Tory Lanez will get comfortable being around a lot of inmates who do not have the fame and notoriety that he's had. You know, you can go in the visitor room, you know, somebody girl might just recognize you and might just wave or might just smile, you know, but him feeling Dougie, you know what I'm saying, he in here, you know what I'm saying, feeling pimpish, she on me, she's flirting. So he's shooting his jumper, he's shooting Steph Curry shots, shooting his jump shots, trying to see if he can make it. And I'm pretty sure he has made it a lot of times. He probably have pulled a lot of people, females in that visiting room because of his star status, you know what I'm saying? you know, all they thinking in their mind, oh, it's money. He's in a better position than my dude. Oh, if I can get up on him, you know what I'm saying, put this thing up on him, maybe I can be a baby mama. Maybe I can get some money. Situation like that. But I've seen this many of times. I've been on prison yards when stuff and blew up and happened over the visitor room because dudes speaking to other dudes' girls and stuff like that. And they get told on. And I've seen situations where girls didn't tell them, was letting people just be slick. You feel me? And, you know, dudes would be telling like, hey, man, you know I popped the boy. What's the little girl? I'll be talking to her, calling her. You know what I'm saying? I got flicks. All the little get out, man. You know, I've seen it in the county jail when you come visit behind them glasses before the other visitor come. Dudes, you know what I'm saying, holler at people, girls and all like that. Girls rubbernecking. So it goes both ways. But, however, it seems like this dude was not with it. And it seemed like, you know, he got at Tory Lanez behind this. They said Tory Lanez made remarks like, oh, you know, his girl, you know, like Black D and all type of stuff. But this where it gets tricky, and this is where we going to fill in the missing pieces of the puzzle to everything that's going on.
Please allow me to give you guys yet another update, right? Because I did my background check. You can check out the full video on Renegade Media on YouTube. But this is the suspect that stabbed Tory Lanez, right, in Tehachapi State Prison. And I already explained why he stabbed Tory Lanez, for disrespecting his wife at visit, saying a couple, you know, derogatory words on the tier about his wife. And the man took initiative to defend his wife and stab another inmate. That's why I said it's not really going to be a racial war. And if it does happen, so be it. That's in prison. But I always said it was personal. But let me tell you guys why he's in prison. He's in there for murder, right? He also has an in-house stabbing as well, and he got caught with a bunch of weapons, and he's been known to stab a couple of other inmates. He caught additional time on top of his life sentence. He was 20 years old living in Lancaster, right? And he was on parole when he started dating a 13-year-old girl named Evelyn. And Evelyn ran away from home from Palmdale, ended up at his house. They had obviously some type of encounters, you know, some kind of relationships, if you know what I'm talking about. And then things escalated and blew out of proportion where they got into an argument, and he shot 13-year-old Evelyn in the face and killed her. That's why he got sentenced. And the reason why I bring that up is because even though he didn't get charged for it with an S offense because the district attorney went after a murder case, you know, this dude got his spotlight. I'm pretty sure that's what he is enjoying right now. A lot of blogs talk about, you know, the fact that he stabbed Tory Lanez. But let's talk about the fact that he also shot a 13-year-old little girl that he was having sex with when he was 20 years old. So before we start giving this man any credibility, like, yeah, you know, this is for Meg Thee Stallion, this is for her, you know, retaliation, you know, this and this and that, do realize that the man that did it was having sex with a minor, and he also killed that minor. That's why he's doing life without the possibility of parole. So I really don't want to hear no gratitude and no fame and, you know, respects, you know, this is for Megan, you know, or free Tory Lanez, none of that. Because, you know, we're going to give a lot of glorification to a man that doesn't deserve it. Even though a lot of us are bloggers and a lot of us are obviously YouTubers and content creators, we're going to talk about the simple fact that this rapper, singer got blasted in a state prison by some Mexican. All right, well, let's put it all on the table. This Mexican was having sex with a 13-year-old girl, then he took her life. Now we can criticize him and crucify him in the comment section all over social media for that. The full video will be on Renegade Media on YouTube tomorrow.
So, you see how cold and twisted this situation is? So, that's how you know that I'm factual in what I'm speaking about, the place that Tehachapi is and it being a PC yard. So, this guy that Tory Lanez was stabbed by is in fact an SO, you know what I'm saying? A sex offender. And this guy is doing life in prison because he killed a 13-year-old girl. So this guy was 20 years old, however long ago, however long he been in prison. If you want to take his name down and go do some more further digging, you can go ahead. I'm going to just give you a brief summary of what's going on. This guy's 20 years old. Gets out of jail. He's on parole. He meets a 13-year-old. 13-year-old. This man's 7 years older than her. Now, man, look. 13 to 20, like, come on. Like, that's a cold mismatch. He meet her, start having sexual intercourse with her. She runs away from home, start living with this guy. They get into it. Obviously, he got a violent streak. mentally ill or something. He shoots her in the face, kills her. He goes to jail for this. However, it comes back to him. The family finds out she dead, or, you know, file a missing person report, or file that she ran off, you know what I'm saying, with a guy, you know what I'm saying, way older than her. You know, however the case play out, this is what he's in jail for. This is what he goes down for. Now, the whole time he's in jail, he had to be PC unless he went to a few yards and the Southsiders try to recruit him. Paperwork came in. Hey, what you in here for? Oh, you know, hot one. You know what? You know what's going on? Hey, you know, woo. Find out it's a female. She 13. Or get this fool. Or he got to stab somebody because he got stabbers under his belt way before Tory Lanez, and it looked like that. He's not scared to use that knife. And we definitely ain't about to give no respect to him. You know what I'm saying? But this is just a crazy situation. So I'm trying to format this whole situation because this man got like a whole new wife. So he ain't got in jail, got on one of these websites, met somebody else. They came and married this dude. He's a lifer. So he's one of them lifers, and he's still being able to enjoy getting some of that pee. And I'm just like trying to figure out like who really married this dude. She has to be mentally ill, and I'm pretty sure she probably don't know what he in jail for, or she may do. Or maybe he lied. We don't know. But it's not hard to look this situation up. So it's like, if you taking your time out to go marry this dude, you got to look up to see what this dude is in prison for. But it's just like you out of, this whole situation is crazy. So y'all heard it here as well. If y'all ain't heard it there, Tory Lanez was stabbed because he tried to holler at a sex offender wife inside the visiting room and said she liked it black D. Dude found it disrespectful. Obviously, it got around the prison. A few other people heard it. Now, do I think the yard gonna rock behind this? H to the no. Hell no. It bet not rock behind this. It bet not rock behind this. This is a PC yard anyway. On top of that. But, hey, he was stabbed by a sex offender for trying to holler at his wife. It is what it is. Better luck next time. You got to be careful. And we gonna conclude this there. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing to press that button. And if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm trying to tell you.